My name is Ann Walsh, and I have been involved with the Windsor Food and Fuel Bank for a minimum of 10 years. And today I'd like to introduce you to Ernie Perot, who is the director of the Windsor Food and Fuel Bank, and he will tell us some of the things that we want to know about the annual appeal. And today we will try to clarify some of the different understandings people in our audience have between the food bank, food share, etc. Ernie?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good. You're going to tell us something about the annual appeal letter.
It's currently October 2016, and we've started our annual appeal. Letters have been sent out to businesses and homeowners who provide us with the funding that we need to operate the Windsor Food and Fuel Bank. Just for a point of clarification, there's sometimes confusion with the food share organization located in Bloomfield, Connecticut. We receive a lot of support from food share, but I want to make it clear that when people make donations to the Windsor Food and Fuel Bank, that they're making donations that support Windsor families in need of food assistance, fuel assistance, and basic need programs. That's the nature of the Windsor Food and Fuel Bank. We have 3 programs. We have our food bank, which is located at the L.P. Wilson Community Center on Maniatic Avenue. We have the fuel assistance program, which people can get support at the same location. And we also have our basic need program, which is designed to provide emergency clothing, medication, transportation, and we also provide training on budgeting, weatherization, and healthy food choices. So we do a lot. The food bank does a lot. Like I said, we have a number of programs. The food bank, the Windsor Food Bank, is currently has 388 households registered as of 2016, and that's servicing 2,217 individuals within the town of Windsor. We're up quite a bit this year, and we're doing. And this is why we need everybody's support with respect to the annual appeal.
We're up in numbers as far as families?
Yes.
And that's...
So we also have a few other programs, Groceries to Go, which is a program for people who are 60 years of age and older, and there's a distribution made every other Friday during the month. That takes place at the Windsor Senior Center. We also have a program called Mobile Food Share, which takes place at the lodge on Deerfield Road, where people can come and pick up groceries.
Oh, that's interesting. I wondered where it was at this point in time,
right,
because they've had to change areas. That's wonderful.
Correct. So at the Carmen facility on Deerfield Road, they've been generous enough to let us use that as a distribution point for the mobile food share. We also have a program for families called Weekend Wheels, where we provide a backpack full of food to students in the Windsor school system. On Fridays, they will get a backpack of healthy, good food to take home for them, for the weekend, so that they have food until the next Friday. So that's and obviously the food bank here, which on Maniatic Avenue, where people are allowed to come once a month. The food bank is opened 5 days a week, and it's opened on Thursday evenings from 5 until 7. So
that's wonderful.
To accommodate people whose schedules don't allow them to get here during the daytime working hours at the food bank.
Right. Now, for those that are not aware or they wonder, well, how do these people qualify?
There's an application process where the people will come in, go to the social services department at L.P. Wilson on Maniatic Avenue, and there's an application and a review process that takes place. And once people are qualified, then they're introduced to the food bank, and it can become a regular participant at the food bank.
And the same thing applies as far as the children in the schools. We get that information from the school, or
from the school. There continues to be an eligibility test for that program as well. The only program that doesn't have an eligibility test per se, is the mobile food share. Mobile food share, where people can just come, and it's food supplies that are available, and then people can just come and they receive a bag of food. So yes, for all of our programs for the food bank and for fuel assistance, there are eligibility criteria that are reviewed and confirmed before a person is able to participate in the program. The basic need program tends to work on an emergency basis, and we tend to it's a situation where we might have to move a lot quicker.
Yes.
And so we might not have the strictest of tests, but I think in a lot of common sense is applied, and people are able to, who make those decisions with respect to the basic needs program, have a clear understanding of who needs to be supported at that time. And for the fact of the matter is, most of these people come to us from social services department anyway. So it's not like I get a call from somebody at the middle of the night saying my electricity has been shut off. It's usually some situation where they've come to social services, and then social services utilizes the assets that the Food and Fuel Bank has, in with respect to its basic needs budget, to support people who are in that emergency situation.
Right.
It's an interesting program, from providing clothes in an emergency for somebody who's had a fire. A situation where people need to have refrigeration, and their refrigerator has died, and they require a refrigerator to have medication. So on an emergency basis, we tend to address those situations. So the Food and Fuel Bank reviews all of these requests, but sometimes we'd like to do it beforehand, but in some situations we
just can't.
We can't. We have to do it after the fact, and it's explained to us, from either the social services or in my role as the president of Food and Fuel Bank, or we do have an office on 6 Pequannock Avenue, and somebody where we have some hours during the week, and people may have gone to the office and requested support at that time, or via phone or via website. So
absolutely. Can you explain a little as far as where the board of directors of the Windsor Food and Fuel Bank, what our positions are there is, yes, the monies come to post office box, etc.
Right.
And what happens then?
So just to clarify, the Windsor Food and Fuel Bank, is a private nonprofit 501c3 organization. We currently have a board membership of 12 people. It's predominantly Windsor residents. We do have a couple of non-residents who work at local businesses. 12 people. We meet monthly, the fourth Thursday of the month. We regularly meet at the Windsor Chamber of Commerce office, and we look. Our objective, obviously, is to support these three important programs. But we do so in the most important way as to how to raise monies to support those activities, whether it be through obviously our annual appeal, showing up at the various functions on the town green, whether it be Shad Derby or the Chili Festival, Chili Challenge, or whatever, and have a community presence and try to obtain support that way. We have a lot of businesses in town that,
That's what I was going to pick up on right now, would be the businesses for this time of year.
Like the Hartford, we just had one of our residential communities, Walden Woods, did a food drive. So a lot of times we have people coming to us saying, we would like to do this. Obviously the civic organizations in town do a lot of, the canoe race that takes place on the green. And we get a lot of food donations like that. The Hartford has a number of events. TRC in Windsor does a number of events that they're regularly contacting to us. We just had a recent situation where one of the things we provide that we don't talk about much is diapers.
Yes.
And we tend to have a situation where people need diapers. We keep a supply of diapers. We provide diapers in those situations, but you know, I've had some preliminary discussions with a couple of businesses where, you know, we asked them, would they do a diaper drive for us? I mean,
Yes.
you know, we had a situation, it happens almost annually, where we need a specific product, peanut butter jelly,
Yeah.
and we'll go to the Hartford and say we need peanut butter, and then we have a lot of peanut butter. And then of course the grocery stores in town,
Right.
you know,
That's what I wanted to go in on.
we have our distribution. We do our monthly, the first Saturday of each month. We do a collection at Stop and Shop on Kennedy Road, where, you know, when people come in, we give them our flyer of what products we're looking
Yep.
for. They go through and do their normal shopping. They buy they buy for themselves. They buy for us. After they've, you know, gone through the registers, we have a drop-off point in the store, and we keep that box there 7 days a week. It's always there. If you go to Stop and Shop, as you walk out, you'll see the big distribution box with our logo on it, and people are allowed to, you know, if they just decide, you know, on that particular
drop
day
in,
that,
yeah.
that they want to drop off a jar of peanut butter or some diapers or some pasta sauce or pasta, whatever it is, macaroni and cheese, they can just drop it off. And then we, on a regular basis, we go up and do a collection there. Geisler's is involved as well, where we have a program with them. Where we have there were gift certificates that we were raffling off as part of the collection for the Windsor Food and Fuel Bank. So
wonderful.
it's the program last year at Geisler's was pretty successful. So we're planning on doing it again, and we have other activities that we do for fundraisers throughout the year. You know, we depend on Food Share. We buy our groceries from Food
Yep.
Share. We get donations from Walmart in East Windsor. We get donations from all sorts of places in town.
While you're saying the Walmart one, we often need, the board doesn't need volunteers. However, Windsor Food and Fuel Bank at 599 Maniganic Ave, they are looking for volunteers frequently for places like Walmart and other places that donate their food to us, but we have to go to pick it up. And I met a gentleman on Saturday night socially who volunteers to do that. So again, anyone could come and sign up to do that at social services. And we would be very happy to have them do things like that, because sometimes we run out of drivers.
Correct.
And help us to unload trucks and so on and so forth. So volunteers are 90% of our physical battle, not our monetary battle. So you can help in many ways that way also.
Right. Volunteerism is very important to us.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the whole board, are volunteers. That gives us, connectivity into a lot of the business with Windsor Federal, with the Hartford. I can just go on and on.
We could go on and on, right?
All the companies that support us. Carmen Funeral Home. Those companies that have supported us in the past. But oftentimes when we get a big collection of food, we had during the summer. Carmen Funeral Home sponsored a concert on the green.
Yes.
And one of the requests was that when people come to the concert, that they bring a canned
item.
good,
Yeah.
food item.
Yeah. There's one this weekend.
We had
Shred Day with Windsor
right
Federal.
at Windsor Federal.
Yeah. But
that night we ended up, fortunately we had somebody donate even though we have a truck, we were able to get a local resident, a volunteer, to donate a pickup truck, and we were able to load the pickup truck, and then we had to get the pickup truck down here to get it unloaded. So having people to support those kind of volunteer situations would be very, very important. When we get big donations from local businesses, yes, we have somebody working in the actual food bank, but there are times when it might spike up and we need somebody else to help in unloading, shelving, in preparing, getting the food bank ready when people have to come in and are looking to make a withdrawal from the food bank.
We have a major food drive coming up with the EMTs for November, and that will be a turkey and the fixings and that kind of thing. And that's the EMT vans will be filled, and they definitely will need help here at the food bank as far as sorting that. And you can call, I've forgotten the number, 688. We'll put it on the board for you. And we'll push these addresses and things up there for volunteerism. But our main feature this time around was from the monetary donation, that if you can help that way, your taxes, it's a 5013C, comes off your taxes, that's wonderful also. And we do need the financial end because we say we buy food from Food Share. It's at a minimal cost, but we still need the finances to do that. And oftentimes we need to supplement, I'll say peanut butter, that maybe Food Share doesn't have peanut butter and jelly. And that is definitely a basic staple that we need hundreds of jars of peanut butter and jelly to serve the number of families that you've heard us say we have. So again, that was going to be our big focus. But I think maybe in wrapping up, we can describe, first we have Food Share. Now what is Food Share? Food Share is where all residents of Hartford County, their community organizations, go to Food Share to purchase their food. You and I can't go in as individuals. Your towns, your food banks in your various towns do that. We are Windsor Food and Fuel Bank. We have our own bank. We will have pictures of where the food is on this program for you to see, so you'll get a full picture all the way around. That is where your donations from the Hartford, from Stop and Shop, from the schools, donations from anyone and everyone come here to the food bank. What our goals for the Food and Fuel Bank? I think you understand what our goals are to feed our Windsor residents that need basic needs, they need our help. Some have not been able to get a job. Some are working 2 and 3 jobs and just can't make ends meet. But those were the basic things that we were involved with. And we really wanted to clarify, if possible, the difference between Food Share and the Windsor Food and Fuel Bank. Both are necessary, but if you as an individual want to give to your own community, it's Windsor Food and Fuel Bank. What do you remember what the post office box is? Is it on? Wait a minute. I have part of this letter. In case you don't have this letter and would like to receive this letter from the Windsor Food and Fuel Bank, you could call us and let us know. This little piece of paper is telling me, yes, I want to help my Windsor neighbors, and the enclosed amounts for donations and so on and so forth. And that is included in the letter. And again, I don't have my envelope.
Well, they can call 860-683-4199 is our office. We do have an office on Pequannock Avenue, on 6 Pequannock Avenue, and you can contact the office if you'd like to receive a pledge form from the Windsor Food and Fuel Bank. Like I said, it's in October we do our annual appeal. We obviously go back to our people who historically have provided us with an annual donation. That's our distribution list. Individuals and companies who make contributions to us. But at the same time, we're always looking to get new people involved.
Increase our distribution,
so they can.
I did find the envelope.
So you can either call 860-683-4199, or you can just send in your donation to the Windsor Food and Fuel Bank, P.O. Box 854. That's Post Office Box 854, Windsor, Connecticut 06095. So you don't have to wait for a pledge card. you can just send it into our post office box here in Windsor.
Now, I know many people that may be viewing this live in Windsor, but they work elsewhere, or it could be vice versa. They work here in town, but their business is not involved. Those people can certainly approach their own businesses and help us with food drives and things like that
Right,
too. We would be happy to send information to any company that one would be inclined to call us about and see if they would be interested in doing a food drive or participate in some way.
And another important way where businesses can help is oftentimes there's a matching donation provided
about that.
provided
Yes.
by. So if you worked at United Technologies Aerospace Systems, Hamilton, Sunstrand, if you work there and you want to make a donation, often there's a process. If you make a $50 donation, let's say, then that usually companies will have a matching program where they'll provide a matching grant in the same amount. So you'd have to check with your own local, with your own company to determine if they do that. But it's also an opportunity for us to, in some cases, double the donation that's provided by an individual. So.
Well, I think these are points that we wanted to get across to you, and we hope this has helped. And I think at this point, you've had enough information to digest. So I think Ernie and I will sign off. But on behalf of the Food and Fuel Bank, we want to thank you for everything you have done and continue to do for us.
Thank you for the opportunity, Ann.
You're welcome.